Hey Fae folk, welcome back to my collective June and July doll review video. This is the first time that I'm like using this format where I sort of just like film clips of me unboxing the dolls, but instead of posting them as individual videos, we're just doing like a big fat video, and I will have timestamps. So like, because this is going to encompass multiple dolls and multiple brands, if you're not interested in all of them, you absolutely are going to be able to like skip through, pick and choose what you want to look at. But yeah, we are kicking off the video with Bratz Sassy Stampede Chloe here. Listen, I realize this is kind of a strange doll to kick off the video with, just because she's not, the line in general wasn't the best received, I feel, and certainly she's not the highest quality. Full disclosure, really the only reason that I wanted this doll was because I really think the base doll is pretty. I love her screening, but mostly like this strawberry blonde hair for Chloe, I just think is so gorgeous and quite different for her. Like, it's not a color that she gets very often, and so I really wanted to have her to redress. My husband was kind enough to get her for me, so we are going to go through and do the review still. Obviously it might be a bit of a rough one, but the important thing is that Chloe's face and hair are pretty, and once I get her in a new outfit, she's going to be incredible. So here is the front of the box. It's, you know, pretty standard, kind of just a box. I don't know. Y'all know I'm not like the biggest packaging person in the world. On the back, though, we do have the art of all of the different characters, which, like, I love getting art like this, but I feel as though when the art depicts the designs as being so much more detailed and therefore just so much better than the doll, it's kind of like funny to have the art, because it's just like, oh, you mean Chloe's boots could have had painted detail? Oh, even my cat is upset. Did you hear that cry? You mean that the hats could have had like bands on them? I don't know. It's just it's kind of funny to me. But that is Chloe in the box. Let's go ahead and take her out and look at what she comes with. Alrighty, Chloe has been freed. Now we can go ahead and take a look at her. Her only like unworn accessory, like packaged in the box separately, accessory is her hat. Little cowboy hat with a like plastic, it's supposed to be elastic to like sort of stretch around the head, right, to keep it on. However, the hat literally bends more than this does. So I don't know how well that would work. I know I'm like far from the first person to say this. I mean, we already knew this when we were just looking at stock pictures, right, before we had even like had anybody get the dolls in person. This literally could not be any cheaper a plastic, which is really disappointing. I do think I'm going to keep it and maybe try to flock it at some point and use it for a different doll, just because I don't want to, waste it, and I do feel like it could be salvaged, but as is, it's a little rough. I'm actually going to go ahead and look at Chloe's outfit and everything first, because the base doll is what I'm most excited about. So I want to end on a high note, right? So she does have a top and bottom. It is two pieces. You can see two separate pieces of Velcro. All of the detail is printed on, though, like the leopard print, the printed buttons going down the front of the shirt. There is a separate fabric that's like this little tie, which is at least something. The belt is technically a separate like strip of this pleather material, but it is sewn like to the skirt on the side. So it's separate in the sense that it looks 3D, but it is not easily removable. Yeah, it's just like a little pleather outfit. I don't know. I feel like I said everything I needed to say about my thoughts on the outfit in, again, like talking about just the stock photos and everything. It's not the greatest, but again, I will probably save it just because I do feel like I could maybe get some paints or something and do something with this to make it something exciting in the future. I do at least appreciate there's a little bit of, is that actually gathering, or is that just, oh my god, no, I'm such a liar. I thought there was gathering on the shirt, but that's actually just where the rubber band was holding her in place. So that's rough, because now instead of being like, oh my god, at least they put a gathering in there, like that's kind of nice to accentuate her waist, it's like, oh, my pleather is creased. Anyway, her shoes are like falling off. I don't know why. There we go. We have seen this sculpt before. I want to say, did Popstars Jade come with these boots? But like a different sculpt? I don't know. I know that we've seen these before, but I do think it's a really solid shoe sculpt. No painted detail, but at the very least, especially like Chloe's, because they're just this nice white pearlescent color, they will be really easy to like add some painted detail to. So again, we'll save them. We'll use them in the future for something or another. Let me get her other shoe back on. I don't know why Girly is refusing to like snap in, but the actual exciting part, the face. There are two variations to this doll facially. One, obviously the one that I have, has a closed mouth sculpt and then, or closed mouth screening. And then the other one does have like a little like sort of heart-shaped tooth area. Honestly, I like them both. I'm chill with both of them. So I would have been happy either way. I'm just glad to have her. I think this deep red lip is so pretty for Cloe. And then like the eyes that she has, she's got like blue eyes, but around her pupil, there's a little ring of more of a brown color. And I think it's so pretty. A little bit of shimmery eyeshadow all the way up to her eyebrow, which y'all know I love a good shiny anything. So I'm definitely a fan of that. And then her hair, guys, it's like rather well rooted. I was afraid to let go of the boots for a second there. I was like, they're going to fall off again. But it's quite well rooted, which we love to get to see. And it's such a beautiful color. Oh my gosh. Once I wash like the curls out, like wash all the gel out of the curls and redo them, they're going to be so lovely. Like it's going to be such a pretty head of hair. It is actually a couple of different colors, which I don't know how clearly that's coming across on camera. But there's like the primary strawberry blonde, and then there's little streaks of a slightly lighter color to just give it some extra dimension. Like, look at the shine. She's so pretty. She's so, so pretty. Let me go ahead and see if I can get the hat on her just for kicks. And then we will wrap up this very quick first review. Yeah, I fully thought I was going to break that hat trying to get that on her. It doesn't look the best. But the outfit and everything, as I've said multiple times, it's just going to go in a drawer and then I can use it for like pieces and parts and customization later. So it's not a complete waste, right? Like it may be a waste as is for me in my collection, but it will get used at some point for something. Like it won't go to waste entirely. And the doll herself is going to get a wash and redress post haste. I'm really excited about that. So this has been Sassy Stampede Cloe, a doll that I think is fabulous for her base alone and would personally recommend a sale for, so that you're not paying full price for like, kind of iffy clothing. But I am really glad for her. Thank you to my husband for buying her for me. I'm very, very excited to see what outfit I'm going to end up putting her in. But that's all for Cloe here, so on to the next clip. Hey Faith Folk, welcome back. Today we are going to be unboxing G3 Frankenstein's Scareadise Island Edition. This doll did come out several years ago, and I didn't want them way back when they came out. And yet I was in a sort of local toy store, and I saw them on the shelf, and like, as you can see, they did cost me $20, which I think is actually slightly above retail for these dolls when they first came out, which is a little frustrating, but that's just the price I pay for being too silly goofy a couple years ago to be like, yes, I want this doll. To be fair, I think that I was correct 2 years ago. I didn't want this doll. The reason that I ended up wanting them and getting them is because I have all of the, I'm literally looking at this and it says Scareadise Island, and so I want to say Scareadise Island, and it's like, that's not it. The Skulltimate Secrets Oasis line. I have all 3 of the Oasis line, and those are sort of like not directly beach dolls, but they're definitely like very resort sort of dolls. And I love the idea that they all look sort of more quote unquote put together and like a little bit more, I don't know, just like accessorized and perhaps a little bit more glamorous is a better word. And I adore the idea of this Frankie rolling up to the function, just like having not gotten the memo, like bringing the cool uncle sort of vibes. I just think that something about that is really, really funny. So I wanted to display them with my Oasis dolls. And so that's kind of what made me finally want the Frankie. So I guess I couldn't have possibly wanted them and gotten them beforehand. So really, it's fine that I paid the $20. Anyway, I have them now. That was the front of the box with them in it. There's the back. This is an old doll. We're not going to linger too long. I'm going to unbox them. Okay, yeah. So happy that I picked up this Frankie. They're just really fun. I don't know. I feel like that's the best way for me to describe them. But time out, girly pop, gender neutral. We have to look at the accessories first. First is a little volleyball. Like I don't particularly care about this accessory, but I will say that I think it's nice that there is some stitch detailing that was sculpted in there. So it at least is, you know, a Monster High volleyball. You know, it does at least feel appropriate to the brand. They did a little something something with it. We also have this big old plastic tote bag, which is obviously super appropriate for going to the beach. No painted detail, just the sculpted stuff. This was like a more budget line when it came out, so that is understandable, but it is a big tote bag. Like you can actually definitely put a whole bunch of stuff in there if you wanted to. I love this like so much more than I should. It's so good. Like sure, a little bit of painted detail, like maybe the straw or the liquid being a slightly different color would have been nice, but there's something just genuinely so stupid cute to me about this pineapple skelet drink. I love this. I love it so much. I don't know, for some reason G3 and the food accessories, they just get me. And then lastly, we have a yellow, mostly transparent pair of lightning bolt shaped sunglasses, which I think are really cute. And I'm actually very excited to get onto Frankie, which is interesting because normally I don't keep my dolls in sunglasses, but I actually think I'm going to want them to wear this. I'm going to go ahead and take the hat off and we can look at that just so we can also look at their hair and everything a little bit easier, and that way the hat doesn't just fall off right away. So it is like a big old bucket hat. It is even bigger than like other G3 bucket hats, I feel, because I know Claudine's had a few. And I think it's even bigger because it's meant to sit further back on the head as opposed to like on the top. So it does look a little bit funny, I will admit, off of the doll. However, on the doll, I think this is really fun. The silver with like the stitches all over. These three rings, 10 out of 10 edition. Like it just makes it a lot more fun. It just really brings it up just from being a bucket hat to there's a little bit of style. Like Frankie may be a little less glamorous than the dolls they are going to be displayed with. They may be a little bit more cool uncle, but they have personality and they still are bringing the fashion to it. I don't know. I think it's really cute. But to look at Frankie themselves, I don't know why I was surprised they had Saran. Like in my brain, I was fully prepared for this to be a polypropylene doll because when these first came out, I don't think I paid like a ton of attention to the release. And certainly any videos that I watched that mentioned hair fiber, I have long since forgotten what the hair fiber was. And yeah, I fully expected this to be poly hair, but no, which is nice. I like seeing that. I'm saying that with like confidence. I'm pretty sure. I'm getting a lot better at identifying hair fibers, and I would like 99% say that this is Saran. If not, it's very well treated polypropylene. But either way, I just was surprised that the hair fiber was like actually nice and it's well rooted. It was just a pleasant little surprise. It is, of course, since this was earlier in G3's run, an older style Frankie screening. I know a lot of people prefer the new ones. Personally, I like them all. I'm good with all of it. I will say the pink, come on, unnecessary. I know I complain about that a lot. There are certain Frankies in G3 that I love with pink. Number one is like Scary Sweet Birthday. I think that there is a right way to do pink on Frankie, and I think this outfit was not it. So I will be repainting the lip because that is a little bit annoying, but otherwise I do think the face is still quite sweet. There's like a tiny scuff on mine, but I can fix that. Yellow lightning bolt hollowed out earrings, which I think is very fun. And then perhaps my favorite piece is this shirt. Like it's a super long, not button up, like there's no even faux buttons, but sort of, collared shirt and everything. I love this. The sheer fabric with the yellow lightning bolts all over. The fact that we actually have like a rolled cuff in the collar. It's just such a vibe. I don't know. I just think there's something really, really fun about this. I think a lot of why I like their outfit is because I myself am a more feminine presenting non-binary person. So it doesn't bother me at all that Frankie is more often in slightly more traditionally feminine clothes. Like seeing them in a dress doesn't bother me. And in fact, I feel connected to them in that way because like I can relate. But I do think it is fun when every once in a while we get these moments where they play with items of clothing that are slightly heavy on the slightly more masculine in silhouette. Again, like stereotypically masculine, like the collared shirt. Obviously, women wear collared shirts all the time. Anyone of any gender can wear a collared shirt. It doesn't matter. But societally speaking, it's like a slightly more masculine thing. And I don't know, like, I just think they're playing with a little bit more of a bit of androgyny in this outfit. And I just think it's fun to see Frankie, I guess, mix up their gender expression. That just is something that I think is interesting to get to see. So I do love the shirt. The other shirt, I got like tripped up because I'm like, wait, I love the shirt. Hold on, there's another shirt. It's like a little bit bulky in the middle where the two fabrics are sewn together, but I can probably fix that. It's like a little tank top situation, one half blue, one half silver, which I think is really nice. I love all the yellow we have on this Frankie. I say all the time on this channel, my favorite color is orange. Yellow is a very close second. And so I love getting to see yellow on dolls and having yellow as an accent color on dolls. But there is definitely a lot of black and yellow. So having the blue and silver shirt, I think really, really helps just kind of bring things into balance. But black to the black and yellow, we have these amazing shorts. They're like a little bit looser than a lot of the high-waisted G3 shorts and also like a much softer material with this sort of distorted checker pattern with yellow lightning all over it. I just love it, y'all. I don't know what to tell you. I just think it's so fun. And then for shoes, we've got some black like platform wedge sandal sort of shoes. They do have spikes along the straps, which I think is really fun because Frankie does have, you know, that little bit of punky edge to their style, and so it's cool to get to see that coming out. And then the bottom does have some lightning details in the yellow. I don't know, I just think they're fun, and I think putting the whole thing together, obviously you won't be seeing the repainted lip in this video because I have to take my time to do that. Darn, the glasses aren't as opaque as I thought, but they're still pretty, or they're not as transparent as I thought. Sorry, they're more opaque than I thought. They're still kind of fun though. A little bit like further down, could I adjust them? I don't know, I'll figure something out there, but that is what Frankie looks like with the glasses on. Overall, very happy with the purchase. Again, I like so silly goofy. Took me too long to get excited about this doll. But the important part is that they're here now, and I do think that they are going to make a very fun little addition to my unofficial combination of sort of beachy lines. So I'm very happy to have them, and I will see y'all in the next clip. Hey Fae folk, welcome back. Today we are unboxing Self-Scare Secrets Spectra Vondergeist from Monster High, and I am so excited about this one. If y'all know anything about me, you probably know that I really do love Spectra, and also this line of Self-Scare Secrets, I don't know what it is, something about the little accessories hidden in here have me just all up in a tizzy, and I'm very excited about it. I did like a whole dedicated video talking about the entirety of this second line and how excited I am about them, so I'll try not to repeat myself too much, but the combination, obviously, Spectra is just like a thrilling doll for me to have in hand here. And I have to give a super special shout out to Serena Silvercrest here on YouTube because they sent me the doll and I wouldn't be able to be sitting here doing the unboxing without them. So thank you, Serena. I super appreciate it. And now I get to get into her. I feel like the packaging, there's not like that much to say, except for the fact that I'll have to be blurring this out. Amazon fully just slapped a sticker on this and was like, yeah, that's fine. That's crazy. I am very grateful that this box arrived as intact as it did. But otherwise, I mean, it's blind packaging. There's not really a ton to say. I'm still going to open this off camera, or open this up off camera. I don't know. I just feel like it's not like that super duper exciting to watch me like open up little bags of stuff, but we will be reconvening to look at all of her goodies. And I think this is one of the very few times that I'm just as excited for the accessories for a doll as I am about the doll themselves. So this should be a good one. Let's get into it. Okay. Spectra has been unboxed. We are going to go through all of the accessories first as per usual. Since there are so many of them, girly, I'm so sorry you're going to take a little extra time and time out, but I promise we will get to you and I will be very nice. So I don't even know where to start. I guess we'll start. She has this little caboodle that, as you can see, does open, and it like does fully snap shut. I just had it open because there was stuff packaged in here. The front does have some like spray printed detail all over it, you know, like the ombre skelet, the chains across, which I think is really nice. The rest of it is this sort of like bluey purple transparent plastic. And again, does open up, there's like a lot of space in there, which is super nice because, like I said, she has so many accessories. So it's cool that you can like store some of them in the caboodle. She also comes with a little ghost shaped like desk lamp, which I think is absolutely precious in this sort of like bluish teal color. She has a set of stickers, which presumably are for the caboodle. They're all pretty much like ghost or chain themed. There's a couple that are a little bit more generic, like heart hands or some candles, but overall, very, very cute little stickers. Like, I'm sure I'm going to use some of them for her caboodle, and I'm going to keep the others just in case I ever want to put them on a craft. So definitely a sweet little accessory. I feel like you can never go wrong with stickers, you know? Because like people who don't care about stickers, it's not like, you know, that crazy, I think, of an accessory to be included. So I feel like it's not annoying when things come with stickers, but people who like stickers, there we go. Next up, she comes with a little like tablet on a stand. It's like all one piece, sort of like those cases for iPads and stuff that like fold to be its own stand, kind of like that situation. And it looks like she is listening to Cupid's podcast on like the Monster High G3 version of YouTube, which I do think is, I don't know, I just think it's funny when there's little sort of meta references in there. Like it's not exactly YouTube because it's a different universe and everything is monster themed, but it's also very recognizable. And I think there's just something quite comical about that. Then she has a very cute like face mask bag that does come with a face mask inside. So you can see on the front it says ghostly chill, and the face mask is sort of designed to look like her pet ferret. I just immediately dropped it. The back is like very genuine, like it's this very real face mask with instructions and even like a barcode and like a whole bunch of information printed on here. And like the scale is a little ridiculous because obviously Monster High dolls have like huge heads in proportion to their bodies. And so, you know, the face mask it's quite large compared to the size that a human face mask would be, but I still think it's so cute that we get to have all of this detail to it. And then if we pull the face mask out, it's like this little felt piece, again, designed to look like her ferret. I know the first wave of self scare, was it Draculaura that came with one? Or was it not even self scare at all? I know that there has been a face mask in G3 before, and I believe it was done differently because, like I said, this one's sort of like a felty material. I do think that, like, if you got this wet, I feel like it would sort of stick to the doll's head, if that makes sense. Like, it wouldn't be stuck like a glue or anything, but I do feel as though that might provide just nice. Just lets go of the of the mask. But I think maybe some water would provide just enough friction to keep it on the doll's face. Or maybe I'm crazy. I'm not gonna find out because I just think this is a cute accessory and I just want to be able to have it tucked nicely inside the bag and so that I can like find some cute way to display it. Like I don't want to put it on the doll. And so just in case that would go badly, I'm not going to try. But if anyone has this doll and wants to give it a whirl or has already tried that, I'd be very curious to know if I'm correct and if that would help the mask stay on. Next up, she has this gorgeous record player. Let me move the hand in. So there is a clear lid on top with a little bit of spiderweb, sort of like sculpted detailing in the back there. I'm trying to show it. It's very hard to show sculpted detail on a clear item, but the actual like body of the record player is sort of tombstone designed both in shape, the color with like the speckles running through it. I don't know how clearly that's going to show up on camera. I know that that's like a relatively small thing, but they could have just made this gray straight up, especially with everything else they did with this doll. Like the fact that they bothered to speckle this to make it look more like a stone, more like a gravestone, I think is so nice. There's like sculpted details, and then all along the side, you've got like bone columns. And then of course the actual hand for the record player is a like bright purpley pink skeleton hand, which is just so cute. It's just so cute. And best of all, the hand moves. She comes with this record. I'm trying to, it's the Boo Remix number 13 by Melody Vale. Sorry, I know that was not on camera at all, but it's very tiny. I had to get it real up close to my little eyes to read it. And then you can stick that on there and move the hand over, and she can be like listening to her record. Are we joking? The back of the record is like this clear purpley. That's so cute. And again, the functionality, like it spins. I just think that is so fun. Like this is what I mean, and this is what I meant when I made that whole video ranting about the accessories for this set of self-scare. I just feel like they are so detailed and so good at storytelling, and it's just incredible. I just really, really like it. So then we come to her nail themed accessories. We have a tiny little towel here. Not anything crazy, but I mean, you might like to have that nearby if you're doing your nails, so I do appreciate it. We have a super teeny tiny pair of nail clippers with a little skullet on the top. And then this one's like kind of funny to me. She has the thumb hole grip that I'm holding on to, so she can hold it, but it's a nail file. The reason it's funny is because it is straight up like just a, like, not cylindrical. I'm just going to call it cylindrical. A cylindrical piece of plastic. But it adds to the storytelling. I don't know. Then this is in two pieces. She has her like UV lamp so that she can do her gel nails. So there's this first piece that is like a squishy plastic, very, very faintly iridescent with little like drips sculpted in. And this is like the armrest that you'd put like this so that her wrists don't get uncomfortable while she's waiting for her nails to cure, which is just so cute. And then the light itself, it's really hard to see. You can almost see better from the bottom because they're like sculpted there, that there are handprints to show where the hands should go into the device. And then the top part is sculpted like a little ghost, which, listen, just to be annoying for a second, I will say that this would, I feel, hamper the curing process for the nails, but for a doll, unbelievably precious. And then the last two things that she comes with as far as her accessories, and my personal favorites, just because I'm a sucker for this, are a couple of polish bottles. So one is the purple, and then one is like a clear top coat. And both of them do have handles that come off, just like little black. And they're shaped sort of like tombstones with the skeletts. And I think what gets me with this is that they definitely could have just done a very, very generic, almost like Bratz style nail polish bottle. I know Bratz has also done ones, I believe, that are like little shapes. My point being, though, they could have gotten away with just like a cone, just a rectangle, just a bottle shape. And instead they personalized it not only to Monster High with like the skeletts, but also a little bit to Spectra with how they like look like gravestones. And I just think that's so absolutely incredible. But of course, my favorite thing is Spectra herself. How could it be anything else? So let's go ahead and take a little look-see at her. So right off the bat with her face, she is a little baby bit wonky, which does really stink. I feel like this eye is printed like a little higher, and maybe the size is a tiny bit off. Honestly, I'm trying to look at the camera, and I think it looks a lot worse on camera than it does in person. Like, it's noticeable in person, but it's not as bad. But, you know, it's kind of one of those things. Like, am I okay with it in terms of, am I okay with Mattel giving us this? No. I think if you are going to be a company that insists upon doing blind box packaging for your dolls, that quality control needs to be absolutely perfect. Like, if you are going to force people to buy dolls in a blind box situation, you need to make sure that they can feel secure that those dolls are going to look good. So, like, from a Mattel standpoint, am I okay with it? Absolutely not. However, am I okay with it for my own collection? Absolutely yes, because it's like I said, it looks a lot worse on camera. It is not nearly as bad in person. I know that I'm going to be able to pose her on the shelf to where I don't like really see it, don't really pay attention to it. And much more importantly, this was a gift from one of you all. So like, unless the eye was literally printed way up here, I wouldn't be complaining because like this is a gift. So regardless of if her eyes are a little tiny bit mismatched, every time I look at her, I get to think about how nice y'all are. And I think that's worth it. I think that's a price that I'm willing to pay. So I just wanted to make that distinction. Like, personally, I'm not upset. I'm upset that Mattel acts like this. But outside of the slight wonk, I do think her face is just incredible. Like the chains in her makeup. Shut up. She does have little skelet like AirPod style headphones in. And the hair is polypropylene. All of the dolls in this line do unfortunately have poly hair, which is just, it sucks. You know, we don't need to like go into it. I will say that for poly hair, it's not the worst that I've felt. Like, you can kind of run your hands through it and it doesn't feel absolutely disgusting. You can feel that it's poly. Like, it's definitely quite dry, and even just like the way it lays, it's so obvious. But at the very least, I'm grateful that it's not the absolute worst poly that we could have gotten, and that I can stand to touch it without it being absolutely atrocious. Then for her outfit, we have this super cute, super soft, like fleecy little hoodie that she's got going on. The hood does have a hole. Hold on. The hood is just like a plain black fabric. It does have a hole so that you can pull it up over her ponytail. I will not be doing that. I don't know. I just feel like might look a little goofy and it's not really the vibes that I want for her, but it is an option. And you know what? Kudos to them for giving you that option, because hoods on dolls where the heads are big like this is kind of tricky to do. And I appreciate that they're they're making an effort, but there is like chain printing all over and it's just so soft and so cozy looking. I would like to own this myself, actually. I'm a little jealous of Spectra here. Perhaps the star of the show outfit wise though is this skirt. Like, I could see myself if this doll went on like a super duper clearance, wanting to get her again so that I could redress the base doll and have this skirt, or I could see myself just getting the skirt secondhand online. Like, this is so, so pretty. It's sort of a stretchy material. It does just have like a stretch waistband. It doesn't have any Velcro or anything, whereas the sweatshirt is attached with Velcro, but it's so nice. There's this beautiful light purple metallicized print all over with chains and like little ghosts and swirls. The lace at the edge, the silhouette that it gives. I just think this is a beautiful, beautiful, incredible piece. And I'm like, I want to see it in so many different other outfits, but also it belongs to her. It belongs to her and she needs her little outfit all complete. I just think it's just so cute. Her hands. So these are a new little hand sculpt for this specific doll and like for her specific, I don't want to say gimmick, but her theming, I suppose, with her fingers all spread out and her nails painted the same purple as the purple of the nail polish bottle, which is so, so cute. But I just love that. I don't know. I know some people don't like that the hands aren't clear because, you know, like her legs, Spectra is supposed to have transparent hands. I can forgive them for this purpose. If they keep doing this without the nail polish thing being a theme, like if they just consistently keep giving her dolls white hands, questions. But in this particular case, I am fine with it. And actually, I think that like they look even better than they did in stock photos. Because in the stock photos, it was sort of like, I don't necessarily think it's a pretty hand sculpt, but I understand it for the theming. I think it looks a lot better in person. I don't know how good it looks on the camera, but in person, I do think it looks quite a bit better. Moving on down to her shoes, I did go ahead and take one off just so I could show you guys that this is a full sock situation. Thank goodness. Every once in a while, we will get, I shouldn't even say every once in a while. I feel like it's quite common. Now I can't get her shoe back on. We oftentimes get, it feels, from Monster High and in G3, especially, not full socks. They'll like stop here and just be like really tiny little leg warmers or something. So I'm very grateful that we have full socks. However, if you are intimately familiar with the stock photos of the stall, or if you have the stall yourself, you may spot a problem with the shoes, because we have this gorgeous sculpting on the back, like a mausoleum, which is super, super fun. Like, the theming is just always so good, and I feel like they've knocked it out of the park for this Spectra. We have really cool printing on the top here with like this purple gradient and some chains. However, there's supposed to be more printing on the top because there's a sculpted chain going across, and that is supposed to be silver, and mine just isn't. So we do have another factory defect there. Again, I'm laughing because there was no world in which I wasn't happy with this doll. You know what I'm saying? Like, again, this is sort of a special circumstance for me personally, because this was a gift, and, you know, also because I'm someone who's very comfortable painting little bits of my doll. So for me, having to paint the chains on myself is more of like that's a little inconvenient, but okay. But I do fully understand that that is a rough situation. So I suppose my overall thoughts are that I personally love her. I am again extremely grateful to you, Serena, for sending this doll to me. And genuinely, like I'm fine with the fine like tiny defects for me. Because again, the trade-off is that I get to be like, oh my gosh, someone gave me this doll. I'm so like emotional about it. But trying to look at it more objectively, like from the point of view of someone who would be buying this doll for themselves or for someone else, I will say I love the theming still. I think the accessories are absolutely incredible. The amount of detail on the accessories frankly stuns me. Like, I think it's so impressive. However, obviously the least favorite thing is the quality control because between literally like not having part of the shoe paint sprayed on and having a little bit of a wonky face, I do think that that is an unacceptable level of quality control regardless, but especially on a blind box doll. So unfortunately, my official recommendation in terms of you guys going out and buying this is that it might be better to wait for a sale just because I can't even be like, oh, wait till they hit stores because you can't see them in stores either. So I would say perhaps it's better to wait for a sale or to just be prepared for the fact that you might have to like get one, pull her out and be like, uh-oh, I need to exchange this because it looks bad. I guess just be aware of that possibility. I think that if you can get a good one, then this is an absolutely phenomenal doll for me, like in my opinion. But yeah, that is just like a little bit of a bummer. So kind of a little bit more of a mixed ending to the review than I thought it would be. But at the end of the day, I'm still really excited. I'm still really happy and I'm still really grateful. So thank you one final time, Serena, for helping me add this doll to my collection. So I'm gonna go ahead and like wash her hair up as much as you can wash up polypropylene, and I'm gonna pop her into the display. Let me know what you think of her in the comments down below, and on to the next clip. Hey Fae folk, welcome back. Today we are unboxing my second MirrorMi doll, Akiko Kitayama, who represents the emotion of cozy, and listen, she's cat themed, so you all obviously know that I wanted her and was excited about her, right? This one was a doll that I had managed to snag off of Amazon as she was popping in and out of stock, but she wasn't going to get here for like another week and a half, 2 weeks as of time of filming, but I got lucky and I went to Target and they had her there. So I canceled the Amazon order and I got her. And now she's here and now I get to open her up early and I'm just so excited to go ahead and get into her. Not like literally, because the packaging on these boxes is my literal nightmare. So I'm not excited to have to unbox her, but I am excited to get to have the doll in my hands. Really quick, just to take a look at the back of the box here at her adorable art. As I said, her emotion is cozy. Her nickname is Cozy Cutie. Her aura is Kawaii Cuddles. She likes big hugs and milk tea latte. And then her favorite I don't know what just happened to me. Her favorite lyric is big soft sweater, oversized, cozy girl certified. So definitely giving the like soft, cozy vibes, which again, like you can argue whether cozy is an emotion. I'm kind of on the fence about it, but regardless, I do think it's very cute and I do think that she looks very soft and sweet and cozy, and I'm super excited to go ahead and get into her. So I'm going to spend like the next half hour doing that off camera. And then we can come back to discuss what she comes with and the quality and all of that jazz and just have a lovely time looking at Miss Akiko. So I will be right back. Akiko is out of the package, as you can see here. Unfortunately, it did cost me the bending backwards of one nail as I tried to unbox her, but like, she might be worth it. Before we can look at her, though, I do have to go through the accessories. So first of all, she does come with this super cute little like kitty cat coffee cup where instead of an actual beverage, it's like a cat face. And then to go with that is a saucer that is paw print shaped and does have the painted detail. Also, I'm gonna get by the mic for a sec. Can someone explain to me why that sound? I dropped it. Why that sound of like this, that particular plastic sound is like so almost nostalgic to me. What is that? Why is that happening? She also comes with a little like, it's not a stuffed animal, but it is supposed to look like a stuffed animal, right? It is just a solid piece of plastic though, but it's this stuffed cat in purple. And it does have some decent sculpting on there to like, sort of give it a little bit of a rougher texture. It's really not showing up on camera, but it does have a little bit of a texture to it to make it feel or like seem more like it could be a plush object. And there's some, seam lines. sculpted in. So it's a cute little piece for her to hold on to. And then she has her bag, which is also cat themed. No surprise there, right? It has like, oh, I thought these were whiskers, but there's just the two. So maybe not, but it definitely has cat ears. And then we do have a little bag charm here that has a paw print and a cat, which is very cute. I will say, like, mostly because of stuff like Bratzes. I'm like really not a fan of the bag charm thing in real life. Not that I like am judging people who are enjoying that at all, but like I just am like annoyed about it, if that makes sense. Cause I'm like, why does everything now have to be a blind box bag charm? Like, can I have any other product, please? But for my dolls, I do think that bag charms are really cute. So I really like the inclusion of that piece. But Akiko herself, she's so cute. I'm a little bit upset at myself for canceling the Amazon order instead of just like having a duplicate to redress because she's just she's just such a little cutie patootie. I just like want to squeeze her and shake her around a little bit. So she does have mostly brown hair. When we saw the stock photos, I thought it was just brown. I didn't realize because like I mean on this ponytail, the left ponytail, you really can't see it. You can only see a little bit on the right because it just so happens to be twisted that way. But she does have a little tiny bit of purple running through the brown. And I think that's such a cute little thing that like peekaboos out as she moves around. It's so adorable to have just like that little flash of color. I'm not going to check the rooting because full disclosure, I'm just going to rinse her like this. Like we're just going to wash the gel out of the ends of her hair and then fix these face framing pieces because they're kind of a mess. But I'm not going to take her hair down. So I'm not going to check the rooting. Luna was good when I did my like first impressions review for Luna. So hopefully Kitty, I can't think today. Hopefully Akiko, Kittyama, there we go. Hopefully Akiko is also rooted well. But to look at her face, she just has the softest, like most sweet little expression. She has sort of orangey eyes and there's like a hint of yellow at the inner corner, then it kind of blends into pink towards the outside. She's got a little bit of freckling. It's very, very faint, and some orangey blush that matches her lips. And she has a little fang, guys. That's the little fang. The little fang. It's so just absolutely precious. When it comes to her outfit, it is in a couple different pieces. She has sort of like a vest piece over like an actual dress or a full dress, I should say. Hold on, I don't want to get her hair caught in the Velcro. I've already done it. Oh no. Anyway, yes, if you don't like this sort of like capelet piece, she does have just the dress underneath. But personally, I do think it's really cute to have like the layers and everything. Mine's sort of flipped up. I got to get that to sit a little bit better. But there's the bow. It's a very nice, like very soft plush fabric, super thick. And there are, you know, the layers with it, which I think is really nice. Then it devolves into a like more faux fur as opposed to sort of a like just fuzzy touch, I guess is the best way that I can describe it. And both of those do have the same like white, pink, light brown camo printed on, which I think is so cute. The pink camo specifically is reminding me so much of like the early 2000s as a kid. And it is really working for me, kind of reimagined here. I really love how they executed that, which I didn't expect to say. Like, I would not have pegged myself to be the person being like, oh my God, that camo looks amazing. But like the camo looks amazing. Then the last layer of her dress here is more of like a faux fur, but it's just the pink and it is lined with this gorgeous pink lace to match. I think that's a really nice contrast. It gives like a brighter pop of color because all of this is sort of more pastel. This is still definitely pastel, but it's a little bit brighter. It's just so cute. It's just so cute I could perish. And then dangling from her skirt are two like nylon cords with pom-poms attached. And I'm mesmerized. I just want to like jingle her about. I think that's so cute, especially just like if you really take her literally as a personification of a cat, which to be fair, she's very clearly wearing gloves and she doesn't have ears, which we'll talk about in a minute. But if we go with a very literal personification of a cat, I think the idea of having little like cat toys basically attached to your skirt that are going to distract you all day long, like something about that is genuinely really funny to me. To go ahead and talk about the sleeves, they are for the most part a pleather material, sort of gathered at the upper arm here. And then we do have a little bit of ribbon detail with actual like grommets and everything in there. It's not painted on or anything, which we love to see actual 3D detail and like actual different materials. It's a really nice touch for me. Her paws are plush. And then on one side, they do have little appliques to be the paw pads. Now, I will say two things with these. I have seen from other people that one, these are quite difficult to get back on if you take them off. And two, that the hands inside for a lot of people are just like mangled and like smushed into, just kind of unrecognizable messes of plastic because they're made of such a soft plastic. I'm not going to take these off because for me, I don't care if her hands are mangled because I'm not going to redress at least this one, right? So like I'm not going to think about it. It doesn't matter what her hands look like in here. And two, because they're so hard to get back on, I don't want to mess around with that. But I could not do this review without at least mentioning to you all that that is a known problem. So you're not going to see it here. I am sorry if that's annoying, but like I got to prioritize the ease of just getting this doll into my collection and like my happiness with her. So yeah, you're not going to see it, but just be aware that is a complaint with this doll. Continuing on down though, we do have a little plastic like garter belt that is just this almost collar, basically. It's like a belt going around the thigh. And then her leg situation is that she goes from the like skin tone of her face and the rest of her body down into a white gradient, and it does go all the way down to the foot. So her foot is completely white as well. I didn't see any scratches on mine. I'll give you all a quick 360 here. I don't think I saw any, or at the very least, certainly not any that are like notable enough for me to be spotting them right away. You know what I'm saying? Like nothing notable enough for it to bother me. But I do know that with G3, when we first got like the G3 Laguna doll specifically, who had a similar sort of situation, she had a really bad leg chipping problem before they fixed it. So I'm not sure. I haven't like seen a ton of reports about these legs chipping, but I also have seen some reports about these legs chipping. So sort of just be aware of that with this doll, that because she does have a gradient, there is like the potential that some of the paint could mess up there. I'm not saying that for sure, but just, it's good to be aware. And then lastly, for her shoes, I love the design of these. I am a bit bummed that they are plastic leg warmers as opposed to fabric leg warmers, because we have another doll in the series, Shai, who does have fabric leg warmers. So it's just like sad to see that Kitty didn't get the, oh my God, I did it again. Why do I keep doing that to you, girly? I'm so sorry. It's sad to see that Akiko didn't get the same treatment and get to have the leg warmers. But then on the other hand, you couldn't, I feel like it might be maybe a little harder. I mean, not impossible to accomplish for sure, but maybe slightly harder to accomplish this like hooking of the leg warmer. Like it's more of like a stirrup style, you know what I'm saying, as opposed to just a toeless sock, basically. Again, first of all, can we talk about the paw prints on the boot? Shut up, that's so cute. They definitely could have done that. Like it is obviously possible to make that out of fabric, but maybe the logistics of that were why they didn't go for it. I don't know. I would have liked to have seen fabric leg warmers for her. But she does have, or you know what? Maybe it's like the buckle detailing, because I was about to say, oh, she's got all this buckle detailing. Maybe that's why. I don't know. Point is, she's got the sculpted leg warmers with the buckle detailing and then the white shoe like underneath. And while I do have questions about, the lack of fabric, I can kind of understand from the design why maybe they went that route. And I obviously wasn't upset about it enough to not get her, because here she is. And I do, in fact, love her. With that being said, my least favorite thing about this doll is the fact that, okay, sorry, hold on. My actual least favorite thing about this doll is the hands. Like, that is a genuine, like, problem if your dolls are coming in and when people try to change the clothes, which you are supposed to be able to do with dolls, the doll's hands are messed up. That is a problem, okay? That is, like, the actual most serious, like, the actual least favorite thing about this doll. Selfishly, my least favorite thing is the fact that she doesn't have cat ears. I think that is criminal. What do you mean? She doesn't have cat ears, or at least like I was gonna say something with her hair to, like, be cat ears, but I feel like that just would have been a lot of gel and really awful for, like, sensory. So, just a little headband with little cat e please, why? Why did you do that to me? So, I will be somehow, some way giving her my own cat ears to complete her look because I just feel as though she would be much more finished and proper if she had some cat ears. But all of that being said, I just love her. I don't know, y'all. I don't know. There's just I don't know. There's something about these dolls. I know that like everyone is so excited for these, right? And so I know it's maybe annoying to just hear another person being like, "Oh my god, there's so many." I'm saying that because honestly, like when they came out or when we got stock photos and everything, I was excited, but seeing them in person, they just, like, elicit an emotion in me that I genuinely can't explain, and so I find myself boarding the hype train. I don't know what to tell y'all, but ultimately very happy to have Akiko here in my collection. Very excited to get her all zhuzhed up with, a fresher hairstyle without the gel all up in it and some cat ears and get her onto the shelf with Luna so that Luna can have a friend. But that is going to be it for me for today, guys. Let me know what you think of Akiko here and on to the next clip. Hey folk, welcome back. Today we are taking a look at the Mirror Me that I was most excited for ever since we saw the stock photos, Shai Meadows. There's just something about her. I know she's a lot of people's favorite from Mirror Me, but ever since I saw the stock photos, I was just like, this girl is so sweet and cute, and I just like love her color palette and the volume that she has with all of like the fluffy elements of her outfit and the hair and everything. Like she's just absolutely top tier to me, and I'm so happy that I found her in a Target and was able to grab her. And now I get to go ahead and take a look at her with you all. So here she is in the front of the box, and then if we go ahead and take a look at the back again, just like gorgeous like photo with the drawn over it. It's just so pretty to me. But Shai Meadows does represent the emotion of sheepish. Her nickname is Shai, which honestly I think is the only nickname that I've had so far, because I have Luno and Akiko would have been in this video as well. And both of their nicknames were like, yeah, they're nicknames, but I don't know. I just couldn't necessarily see people like saying that so casually and so easily, but like Shai does flow off the tongue, so that's kind of cute. Her aura is soft and sweet. She likes vinyls and vanilla honey matcha, and her fave lyric is I take my time, I know who I am when it feels right. So with all of the like box details out of the way, I'm going to go ahead and unbox her. But really quick, I do just want to say in between me unboxing Akiko, which I know is like earlier in this video for you guys, but in between that and now, I did talk to one of y'all on Instagram and you gave me a tip for unboxing her because these boxes are so difficult because this whole back panel is glued on, and like I see the tabs on the side and I'm thinking I want to try to pull the tabs out. But one of y'all was like, just cut. Just cut it. Don't even bother trying to do anything like that. So just going around and cutting all of the tabs. It does kind of suck because that means that you're stuck with like sharp plastic edges. And I tend to try to avoid that because I'm a little bit clumsy and I will accidentally hurt myself. But I'm hoping that that might at least make the unboxing process easier because getting these dolls out the like correct or normal way has been really hard. So I just wanted to share that tip. I will report back in like half a second for y'all if it works. Give me one moment. Okay, Miss Girly has been unboxed, and I can say that was so much easier. So enormous thank you for the tip. I hope that that can help someone else out there as well. But to go ahead and get into Shai, she has got a couple of accessories, starting off with this little pastry here with a bunny holding a strawberry on top, which is just like absolutely adorable. It looks really tasty, and I do definitely want to eat it. So mission accomplished, I guess. And then her bag is a little sheep, like a little blue sheep, who is sculpted to sort of look as though this could be a sort of plush style bag. Even the face has a sort of like almost crosshatch texture to be like a different fabric, which I think is very cute. A little bit of painted detail there. And the way that this does attach is there's like a little peg on one side of the strap and then a little hole in the one hand. You can just pop it in, and I hadn't done this before. Okay, so it does come out if you shake real hard. I think like the back and forth maybe is the it's doing okay now. So like it can pop out, but I would say that that's decently secure. I know that probably none of that was actually in focus because it was going all over the place. Sorry, but hopefully you could at least see it took like a little bit for it to come undone for mine. So that's nice that it doesn't just completely fall out, but I wouldn't say that it's the most crazy secure thing ever, you know what I'm saying? And her third accessory is it's very cute, but it is personally a little bit odd. So it is this record player, very nice like painted detail all over the base here, and then we have the clear top. We have though like a hole. It's kind of hard to see. Like you can see how I can touch the record. There's a hole on this side and a hole on this side, and there's not holes on the other two sides of this lid. The lid does come off, but there's no like hinge or anything. Now, I do want to say I do not listen to vinyls. Like, it's just not my thing. And I've never actually used a record player before. So I don't know if this is like normal. I just feel like I'm sort of more used to seeing one with like a hinge, at least on the doll scale. But more so, if I take, so the top and then this side have the open side, right? But if I take it and twist it like this, it actually can't close. And the reason that the sides are open is because the record sort of like juts out a little bit over the side. That surely can't be normal, right? Like I'm willing to accept that it could be normal for a record player to have a top that comes fully off, right? I find it hard to believe that it's normal for it to just like have a side that's open like that. Maybe I'm wrong. I know that that's possible. I just feel like that's very strange, and it would have made more sense to just like reposition things a little bit more. But again, I could just be crazy. The nice thing though is that it does like function. The record can spin here, not like function in the sense of playing something, but it's not just like all one immobile sculpted piece. Like I said, the record can move, and then the record arm does move as well, and you can take this out. So on the front here, we've got like a, sorry, some of my hair, that's a little icky, I apologize. But the front has like this clear plastic with some sparkles in it. My ring light is like making it really hard to see the sparkles, but they're there, believe me. And it does say suddenly shy in the middle there, and then the back is just like a sort of yellowy color that, you know, you see through the clear of the front and it looks all nice and pretty. So I do think that it's nice that it's like multiple different pieces, and they do like, you know, have movable parts and have some sort of functionality. I just had questions about that. So let me know if y'all are record people, if that's like weird or not. But of course, as always for me, the doll is the most important part. And here she is. There's just like something about some of these MirrorMi dolls that is like, it makes me very emotional. Like I can't really explain it. It's a good sensation. Like it's nice. Like I feel very like happy holding them. Hi, Reese. Oh my goodness. She's screaming. She's like, excuse me. Feel happy holding me. But I don't, every time I get one, I'm just like a little emotional taking them out of the box because they give me like cuteness aggression, but I also feel like a little bit maternal towards them. I can't really explain it. And Shai is no different. I think she's just absolutely gorgeous with her blue eyes and the smattering of freckles across her cheeks. She definitely has like a lot more neutral feeling makeup. Like if you pull back the eyelashes, she's got a little something something going on, but it feels less dramatic than like the other couple that I have, and I do think that that really really fits her vibe. Such a soft, like sweet pink little lip. I just she makes me sick, but like in a good way. I'm happy to say there's no gel, even like these little curls around her face. They're nice and soft and just laying very beautifully. She has a plastic headpiece that is sculpted to be sort of like a lacy. Hi, I'm so sorry, Reese. Like a lacy sort of headband. I think the sculpting job on this is phenomenal. Like obviously it would have been cool to get a fabric headband. I will take what I can get. You know, like at this point we've gotten dolls that have far less than this for much more. So like I want to acknowledge that a fabric headband would be nice, but I also don't want to complain too much when the alternatives are not great either. But the sculpting job I just think is so phenomenal, in specifically in the way that the like ruffles are so uneven, and like it just makes it feel very organic because it's not just this ruffle pattern that's kind of repeated over and over. Like it looks like it could be fabric because this part is more bunched up than this part, and like this part's really quite straight over here. I just think that's so well done by whoever sculpted this because it's something that you might not think about. And I think that the doll still would have looked perfectly fine even if these were very uniform ruffles, but it just gives her a sense of liveliness that I find really genuinely impressive. And then of course her hair, she has this beautiful, amazingly soft, curly hair. I feel like it's a couple of different tones. Like I didn't realize that from the stock photos, but now under my light, it's like this is very, very almost white, if not actually white, whereas this is more of like a blonde tone. And it gives her so much dimension and she's so beautiful. Like she makes me sick, but like positively, you know what I'm saying? There's a little bit of box hair in the sense that she's sort of like separated on both sides, but we can fluff her out and zhuzh her out and she's going to be just fabulous. Again, it's not any product back here. So like I'm probably still going to wash mine to just like optimize getting rid of the box hair. But as you saw, like you can sort of just fluff it out and you don't have to wash your hair. Obviously, you don't have to wash any doll's hair. But if you're someone who likes it to be soft but doesn't like washing hair, it's not a problem here. Just out of the box, real nice. And she does have two little buns up at the top, and they're just so cute. I don't know, they look like little like buns. Like, oh my god, not hair buns. Duh, they are buns, but they look like edible buns, like a little sweet roll. She's just so precious. So her outfit is a two-piece set here. We have a shirt underneath that is long sleeve. It's a very interesting, like almost suede sort of material. I don't think that I've felt anything quite like it, but it does feel nice, and it's not like thick, but it isn't papery thin, you know, like it feels like a decent fabric. She does have on that shirt some little faux buttons going down the middle, and then her collar and the cuffs of her sleeves are done in this like, you know, sheep sort of texture. Obviously it's not actual wool, but it's definitely giving that vibe, and it's just so sweet. But my favorite part of like the set has to be the like overall bloomer situation. So first of all, we've got like the ribbons going from back over her shoulders to the front, right? She has little buckles here, and they're like custom buckles. They have tiny little sheep ears sculpted on. Do you know how easy it would have been for MGA to just use the same buckles that they use for everything else? And no one would have complained. Literally, no one would have complained. No one would have said a damn thing if these were just plain gold buckles, but they still went that extra mile and made them sheep. And that's insane to me. She has a little sheep face here with a bunch of different like fabrics and details on there. So there's sort of a more sheer fabric as like a ruffle in the back. And then there's this more fuzzy fabric for the main body of the sheep, some embroidered detail for the ears and the eyes and the nose. And then the face is this fabric here. So there's just so much going on. And then these shorts. So the bottom layer has the same situation as the shirt, right? Where it's like that sort of suede material. And then we have the like faux sheep fur, faux wool, whatever, it's fine. But then we've got all these layers on top of like this beautiful cream lace to just really give them like the bloomer vibe. I'm obsessed. I think bloomers are so stupidly cute, and I love the idea of having them for dolls. This is the best executed doll bloomer that we've gotten on a playline level. Like Cupid from Monster High G3 had like bloomers. They were supposed to be bloomers. Like that was how they were advertised or listed in like a description somewhere. They were not. They didn't work for me. I don't know. And plus the print was terrible. I don't know. I just this is what I want. I love a doll with like these beautiful like fluffy lacy bloomers. It's just she's just adorable. I love her. Her leg situation is a little bit different. So she does have a gradient from white to her like face skin tone, kind of the opposite of Akiko Kitayama, who had like skin tone down to white. So that's kind of interesting to see the way that it connects, I guess you would say, is she does have tan all the way down to her underwear. Her molded underwear are this very pale blue, and then after that her leg is like white. You can see even like the joint at the very top is white up there. Once again, just careful because there could definitely be scratching on this sort of gradient portion. I think mine are pretty good though, which is lovely to get to see. She does have fabric leg warmers, which is amazing. We've got lace, we've got that sheep texture, we have actual like cord bows with little pom-poms, and then we have more of a knit fabric at the very, very bottom. So again, just very detailed, very layered, very pretty. And then her shoes are sort of basic, just, you know, little like strappy high heels, except for the fact that in the front they're sculpted to look like a hoof. Like she's got cloven hooves. And I just, I love that. I love that so much. Like it just, it's really working for me. It's just so cutie patootie. But yeah, that's everything to talk about for Miss Shai Meadows. I'm trying to decide. I think she is still my favorite, but surprisingly, Akiko Kitayama really like bumped up there. Like there's just that doll just makes me feel again so like emotional, same way Shai does. So they're like pretty neck and neck for first place. I'm just so happy with these. I think they're so fun and so cute, and I really have very few complaints. My number one complaint would be the confusion about this, but I don't even know if that's like a justifiable complaint. You know what I'm saying? My favorite things are the hair, especially like the surprise of the hair blend having multiple colors. Just because I personally wasn't expecting that. I hadn't watched reviews of this doll yet. So like that was really, really cool. And I again, the bloomers, just absolutely unreal. But with that being said, I do think that Shai is concluding not only this segment, but this entire video. So I hope this has been fun for you all. Definitely let me know in the comments down below if you happen to be like watching this portion, if you enjoyed this format. And yeah, I hope you had fun watching this little review today. I hope you guys have a lovely rest of your day, your night, or whatever it might be. And I will catch you in the next one. Bye guys.